The new JetEngine release is here and it brings some exciting new features. Some of them focus on building complex queries, as JetEngine is offering more filtering functionality for all needs, while also making listings lighter and more efficient. Other updates introduce new WooCommerce widgets and settings to help you fine-tune your store layout. My name is Andrew, and stay tuned to see what's new in JetEngine 3.7. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's begin with the first feature, and it's all about building smarter queries. Here's something we couldn't do before: combine and or logic in the same query without using complex workarounds. Previously, your filters had to be either all and or all or, which made building complex logic really limiting. Now with JetEngine 3.7, you can group query clauses exactly how you need and control the logic both within groups and between them. This new feature is currently available for meta query for posts, users, terms, comments, where arguments in SQL queries, and query arguments in CCT queries. And the best part? It's super straightforward even if you're not an expert in JetEngine's query builder. Thanks to the intuitive repeater UI, setting up these structures is visual and easy. When creating query clauses, you'll see a new Add Group button. That starts a group block where you can insert conditions. Once you click Edit Group Clauses, a pop-up appears that looks just like the top-level query editor, so it feels familiar. You will select the relation inside the group from a drop-down under each group block. Then, at the bottom of the Meta Query Clauses panel, you can choose how the groups and single conditions relate to each other. Now, while nested queries might sound like advanced stuff, they're actually really helpful for many types of dynamic websites. Just think about this example. You run a real estate website, you might want to show properties that are most interesting to your target audience, like houses located in Los Angeles and are either under 1 million or with a pool. Or go even further, show houses in LA under 1 million or houses in San Diego under 800K. This feature opens the door to much more flexible filtering, and I'm sure you'll come up with ideas that suit your specific use case or business type. Let's look at a handy new feature for building smarter dynamic queries in JetEngine: the ability to exclude a query clause if its dynamic value is empty. This is especially useful when your query depends on user actions. Imagine you've connected a query argument to a dynamic source, say a filter or a URL parameter, and that source is currently empty. Maybe the user hasn't applied the filter yet, or the page has no query variable in the URL. Without this feature, the query still runs, but with an empty value, often leading to no results, even though you might want to show all posts instead. That's where the new checkbox "Exclude this clause from the query if dynamic value is empty" comes in. Enable it, and if the dynamic value is empty, that clause is simply skipped, and your listing shows all items or the items filtered by remaining clauses. So far, this option has been added for cases when dynamic values are used for meta query for all types that support meta queries, query arguments in repeater query, SQL, and CCT query parameters. One note: this will not work if you have set a fallback value, since fallback always supplies a value and clause will never be considered empty. so choose one approach or the other based on your use case. JetEngine 3.7 introduces a new fast way to display metadata, the dynamic repeater with a JetEngine query as its source. Originally, the dynamic repeater was designed to output repeater meta fields using macros inside a single HTML field. It had minimal styling options but retrieved data super fast because it's just one widget, producing clean HTML and less DOM elements. We decided it was worth expanding the dynamic repeater's functionality, and now you can pull data from any JetEngine query. When you need a list with a simple layout, insert the dynamic repeater, choose a JetEngine query as its source, and use JetEngine macros to connect with the dynamic data. With some special macros provided by the JetEngine plugin, it can be styled to fit your design, while improving performance and reducing the amount of generated code for simple listings. The next feature will become helpful for WooCommerce users. It's a Woo Data Widget available in Elementor, Gutenberg, and Bricks. This tool allows you to insert standard WooCommerce hooks and template functions directly inside your listings, something that was only possible using code snippets or shortcodes. Why is this useful? Because many third-party WooCommerce plugins like cart flows variation swatches rely on these standard hooks functions to work. To use cart flows variation swatches inside JetEngine templates, you need to have the following installed and activated: JetEngine 3.7, WooCommerce plugin, cart flows variation swatches plugin, and JetEngine cart flows variation swatches add-on. Provided you've already set up your product attributes and variations, enabling this feature only takes a few clicks. For the listing grid that displays products, set its wrapper tags to an ordered list with list items. Inside the listing grid, add the Woo Data Widget. Set the data type to template function, then choose cart flows variation as the function. This will display the variation selectors exactly as you configured them in your product attributes, styled by your current theme for a consistent and lightweight WooCommerce experience. To make the listing even more functional, you can add another Woo Data Widget and select the Add to Cart template function. This enables users to select a variation and add product to their cart directly from the listing. To make the previous feature work properly, we had to change the HTML structure of the listing grid to UL over LI. This new option is a powerful addition on its own. The wrapper text setting is now available in the listing grid settings just above the column count. It lets you switch the outer and inner HTML tags of your listing. This small change makes the markup more semantic and ensures compatibility with third-party plugins that expect specific HTML structures, like cart flows, which follows WooCommerce default loop. Changing the wrapper tags only affects the HTML under the hood, while the layout and design on the front end remain untouched. We've added another very useful WooCommerce feature, this time for custom cart layouts. If you're building shopping cart functionality using a JetEngine listing and the query builder, you can now add a Remove from Cart button directly inside that listing. Previously, this was only possible through clunky workarounds or extra plugins. Now the dynamic link widget or block element, depending on the builder, includes a new source option, Remove from Cart. It needs no extra setup and works similarly to the Remove from Store feature in JetEngine's Dynamic Data Store functionality. This action triggers a page reload, after which you'll see the standard WooCommerce notice confirming the product has been removed from the cart and offering an undo option. Simple and solid, this feature streamlines the creation of shopping funnels and enhances the user experience. Here's the last feature we'll briefly cover. JetEngine 3.7 brings full support for advanced date in JetFormBuilder. If JetEngine's dynamic calendar module is activated, there's now a dedicated JetFormBuilder block that mirrors the advanced date meta field previously added in JetEngine, including recurring schedule logic, manual dates, and all format settings. That means you can let users create complex schedules like every 3 weeks on Tuesday right on the front end, and it even lets you pass structured data to webhooks. Stay tuned and we'll break it all down in a detailed video real soon. As you probably noticed, JetEngine is always evolving. Our mission is to erase limitations and empower you with tools that make building dynamic websites for various purposes easier. The Crocoblock team is constantly working behind the scenes to upgrade and expand JetEngine's capabilities, so we'd love to hear your thoughts, ideas, and advice. If you enjoyed this overview, don't forget to like it and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest features and tips. That is all for now. Cheers!